So, Oren, you brought up a really interesting point, how the leadership quality in the military has kind of shaped how you think and how you evolve and evaluate problems, and then how you give that information over to the next level. I would really be interested in hearing from Vic how you've kind of used that thinking and then turned that into curriculum and had that back and forth with the professionals who are going to be training this next generation to be able to do it in, at first I assume in a more theoretical sense, but then to be able to practically apply it. It's a little bit different to be able to build up the skill set versus having to be able to come up to the conclusion on the spot. So how did your military experience help guide your experience, and how do you use it on a daily basis to inspire and to kind of direct the young professionals that you're leading?
Well, I have to definitely say that I was challenged in my position of being a leader on active duty by high school students. So here was a challenge. On Saturday morning, I'm normally in bed sleeping, right? So a friend of mine, Chris Cook, said, Vic, I want you to wake up and come to this Mayor's Cup presentation that's going to recognize the next generation of cyber leaders. And I'm going like, man, it's Saturday morning. I don't want to hear from no young whippersnapper. But they challenged me, no kidding, because here it is 11 years ago, the Air Force Association, along with the Center for Infrastructure Assurance and Security at UTSA, came up with this concept of developing a virtual machine whereby students had to take steps to harden that operating system. So much like we have the sticks and we have all of the hardening standards that are out there in industry, this was now being transferred into a high school and middle school setting. So to have a 16-year-old, 17-year-old stand up in front of the city mayor and say, I have been working on hardening Windows operating systems, Linux operating systems, and now today looking at the Cisco network and securing network devices and information technology with the firewalls and setting up demilitarized zones and uh, turning on and off permissions and enabling functions and capabilities. And to have a high school student say, well, here, not only am I, practicing this as you professionals are doing this, but I have 3 certifications. He has his network plus, he has a security plus, and he's in high school. And here I am, beating my chest about, I'm fielding all these cyber protection teams and national military teams, and these kids, I'm assuming that they're playing, esports games with no consequence, but yet they're able to articulate the understanding, the need to defend our nation, from coming out of an academic setting in before they even get to undergraduate school.
Mm-hmm.
So that is what challenged me. So
Mm-hmm.
it's programs like Cyber Patriot, it's programs like the National Cyber League,
Mm-hmm.
it's community leaders that are going out and being mentors, being coaches, and giving back to the next generation that challenged me in my military service to say, hey, look, we have got to do a better job in handing over to the next generation our finished product, which will be their raw material, so that they can do it better than we can. And oh, by the way, get out of the way, because the mindset at that time, and even still today, is that I'm a graybeard. Literally now, I'm a graybeard. I know more than the no beards, and so I'm like, no, you need to sit back, zip it, watch the no beards, and as they need assistance and you need to guide them and provide that on ramp, that's where we need to come in today. So here we are today, here in San Antonio. We have the distinction of having the most Cyber Patriots teams that are fielded in the nation. We've had a national champion in the service edition. We're competing with California, and no shade on California, but Texas is coming for you. But you know, it's just so exciting to see young leaders that are being inspired by gentlemen like uh, Beck and uh, Frank Hall. These are professionals who are now going back into the classroom and just really challenging them, so much so that in some cases we have high school students who are going into middle school and mentoring middle school students and teaching them the tactics,
Mhm.
techniques, and procedures that we showcase and talk about with the MITRE ATT&CK framework. So to see that transition, to see that change, to them taking the baton, and like we're talking about the Olympics,
Wow.
we have some Olympians right
Mhm.
now
Thinking
that are
about
in
explaining the
training.
MITRE ATT&CK framework to a middle schooler and being able to have the relationship and the context, it's amazing. It's
Yeah,
amazing to be able to break something down so granularly and understand how that's laying the foundation for their broader understanding of the attack surface. I think that's really cool.
right.
Um,
And
I-
we have high school that are actively doing it right now, and
mhm.
they're not only here in Texas but around around the world, and at least in around the United States that I've seen. But it's very exciting.